Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. We have a question for you.
Wa alaikum salam.
When the pandemic will be over someday, somehow, how do you foresee the new man? For sure, we will not be the same as before. So we will ascend collectively or fall down even deeper. What will make the difference to take the way up? Thank you.
Well, this is not one question, but 5 questions if I counted correctly. There is a saying that there are 3 businesses in this world. One is the business of the supreme intelligence of the divine. One is the business of your neighbor, of the other, and one is your business. And it says that the good conduct, the good behavior is not to think about the business or interfere into the business of the divine, which means all global matters of future have a ceiling on it. But let's say it is possible for some people to know. Still, it's not a really good behavior to speak about it. Yeah. The business of the others, it says already in the word, is not our business. Yeah. So our business is independent from what is happening in this world on a global level. As long as not a war is coming over us and forcing you here or there, our business never changes. It's always the same. But there is a new aspect in this time, which has been forgotten for a long time, and this is the aspect of purity. We had talked about this before. Purity is the golden key. It is the key to a higher consciousness. It is the key to happiness. It is the key of love and to be loved. And the moment you turn towards purity, which means you refrain externally from the things which are not good to do, and you know it, each one knows it by himself, by herself, what it is, because we have a voice in us. This is the voice of conscience. And the voice of conscience talks, but it doesn't scream to us. It speaks in a very subtle way. But if your intention is towards purity, this voice will talk very, very clear to you. Yeah. And it is, of course, difficult because it goes against our ego structure. The ego cannot distinguish what is good for him. It doesn't know what is good. So it tries out many things because it follows pleasure, it follows attraction, sensual attraction, emotional attraction, mental attractions. It wants to know things which are not really beneficial to know. It wants to do things which are not beneficial to do. It harms itself. Yeah. Ego harms itself and harms others. No. This is the original meaning of sin. Sin does not harm the divine, yeah, or that you will be punished for your sins in a later time. There is no later time. What happens to you where you do anything wrong, it will be punished in this very moment in your life. Yeah. There is not a delay. Why the divine should collect, like in a bank account, all your sins, and then finally you get punished because you died, and what is the benefit of that? You are now in a soul level. Yeah, you are already in a pure level again. Yeah, because all that what we call sins are just important in this world. When you have no body, what should be your temptation? What should be your sexual temptation? Yeah, or why should you drink anything which you shouldn't drink, or consume anything which you shouldn't consume? It's all has to do with the physical life, right? So in the hereafter, there is not such a thing, yeah, that we get punished for this kind of behaviors. Yeah, that happens already. The consequences of those things happen in your life, yeah, while you are in this life. But there is timeless behaviors that you have to understand, and this will be told to you when you are so-called dying. This will be shown to you what is the thing you have understood and what's the thing you need to understand. Yeah. So on a higher level, for example, when we judge others, when we talk bad about others, this has consequences already in our life, but it has deeper consequences, much deeper consequences. Yeah. And most people think it is their right to talk bad, for example, no? To judge, to blame, to condemn, to ask punishment for this and that one. It is no one's right to do that. Yeah. But we have worldly laws. We need to function as a social community. So there are clear laws there, and we all accept them to a certain degree. So in the new world, in the new time, there will be self-responsibility. There will be a kind of awakeness that doesn't make the need of having a police structure or the structure of judges or any kind of persecutors, because we will come to the understanding that what we seed, we reap. This is the law of consequences. No? Whatever you seed, you reap. There is no way out of that law. It cannot be cheated. It cannot be bypassed. So you keep on talking bad, thinking bad, it will come back to you. Yeah. You keep on condemning, you keep on judging, it will come back to you. You will be judged, you will be condemned. Yeah. The whole idea of coming to a better world starts with each one of us. You become a better person. You become a person who is interested in truth, radical truth, who wants to develop himself, who wants to purify himself. And when that is becoming your intention, the existence will react on it. It will start to take you serious, because you take your life serious. You start to honor yourself. You start to respect yourself. You're not going to play around anymore, saying, for example, oh, I cannot get up in the morning. Why can I not get up? Is there any zikr? Is there any mantra I can say to get up? Or I'm so tired lately. What should I do? And all these kind of games that we love to play with each other. Yeah. All that will come to an end. Yeah. And you will be one with your will. There is not a subconscious dominating you any longer, because you are on the path of purity, that means purity will give you the light to see what is blinded, what has been blinded before by impurities. It's that simple. Yeah. And not to bring it too much into just a moral level. It has a moral aspect, but it's not based on morals, based on almost a scientific point that you have to become subtle if you want to understand the building stones of existence or the building stones of yourself. Yeah. As long as you live in a very rough world where you just can see what you can touch, you will never understand how the world functions, because it functions mainly through energetic ways. Yeah. And already when we come into the field of energy, we know, for example, how electricity works, but we can't really explain why it works. Yeah. We don't know really what actually it makes this whole thing to do like this. It does it, and we can use it. It's kind of phenomenal knowledge. But the deeper we go into the subtle world, the more complex it is, and the more it gives us more questions than answers. And the same happens when you start a spiritual path. You will see yourself rather falling down more and more than raising up, because you enter into a subtler world. And this is the bigger world. What is in your conscious is around 3 to 5% compared to the 95, 97% in your subconscious. So when you start to use this tool of purity, which implements radical truth, implements radical self-responsibility, then you come first in this shadow world, in the world where you stop identifications, where you go beyond all the patterns and you start to see the world of energies. Yeah. And that is a new understanding how you interact with the cosmos, how we interact with Earth, how we are seeing ourselves connected to everything. No, that there is nothing not connected. We are all connected to all. Yeah, it's all in all. Yeah, and that will be a shaking. No, and the deeper you go into it, the more you need a structure in the world, a regular practicing to hold yourself. Otherwise, you will be just washed away in this subtle world. No. So the new man is a man of truth. The new man and woman, yeah, they are becoming beings of truth. And when the truth is there, love can grow, wisdom grows, everything grows. Truth is the fertilizer of your life. When you practice truth, everything in your life fertilizes. No. So that will be the new time. When there will be this new time, this is in the knowledge, in the business of the divine. Many people have prognosticated the future, and we can say most of them were wrong. because no one can say what happens globally to everyone. But we can say very precise what happens to you. That can be said in such a precision that you would be shocked to know how it really can be. Yeah. And you can know it yourself. There is a famous example of Sayyidina Ali, may Allah bless his secret. He knew by listening to his own book that it is written in his book to be killed, to be murdered from behind. He knew even who is going to do it. And it was inevitable that this is happening. So he could read it in himself. He could see the person who will do it. When it was the moment, it was time of prayer. I think it was the morning prayer, that he woke up the person who was appointed to take the knife and stab him. He woke him up. So far, you can find what is going to happen in you. If you walk the path of purity, of sincerity, you will come to that knowledge about yourself and about another person, but you will not be able to know what is happening globally. So it makes no sense to say next year will happen this and the next year will happen this. There is tendencies you can see, but no one knows exactly, precisely. Yeah. And those who know shouldn't say. When you do the best for yourself, you have nothing to fear. You will get the right inspiration at the right time. That is the promise. No. So you do not have to fear, never, the future when you are walking straight. As a future is what happens now. There is no future. There is no time. Yeah, we are not living in time. Yeah. There is moment by moment by moment. Yeah. It's not a linear thing, but it's difficult to explain it. You have to experience it, and you will understand. So I hope this is a sufficient answer. Thank you very much for the question. All the best. Thank you.